What's up, keto people? So today I'm starting the Restart Strict Keto program, or whatever that I'm going to do for the next 3 months. Because clearly being in Mexico and drinking way too much kicked me out of ketosis for sure. And even though I was fat adapted before for that long amount of time, I'm pretty sure I just need to restart it all over again, which is fine because, then you can kind of see what I do and how I managed to lose 46 pounds in less than 5 months last year. And so this will be good. So you'll be able to see the progress and everything. But I do want to say that I am not a doctor. These are the guidelines that I have followed. Now, I told you before that I was dirty keto when I first started, and there is nothing wrong with that. I lost weight on it, and that is fine. But I want to do the strict keto primarily because it is healthier for you, and there's no need to, say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'll still have stuff that has maltodextrin in it. It'll be fine. And I'm just not going to have it anymore. But honestly, there's no issue if you just want to stick with dirty keto at all. Continue doing it. It's perfectly fine. If it fits your macros, do it. Just for me, I just want to be stricter. So there's that. Also, I have notes here because, there's too much information. So I'm going to try to go by it really quick because I already have videos on other stuff. Okay, so first is no desserts, sodas, sodas meaning like your diet drinks or the Powerade Zeros, or my great stuff that looks like beer, that Virgil's Diet Root Beer and stuff. None of that for a few weeks. You don't want to trigger because I know I'm going to have the carb withdrawals and the sugar withdrawals, and I'm going to be craving those the next few days, and I'll record those as well. But anyway, you really don't want any of that. So you just want to avoid those altogether because your body is going to create a response as if they are the real thing. So that's what I do. These are my guidelines. This is how I roll. Number 2, I'm doing intermittent fasting. So, from 10 to 3, that's my window of eating, and I only eat twice a day. I don't have breakfast or anything. You see, I didn't do that on my vacation either, and that was pretty bad. I mean, because you can tell whenever anything is consumed into your body, your body is going to break it down into fats, proteins, and carbs and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be busy doing all of that. So every time you eat, it stops the process of what we want to get done. And so that also goes into the no snacking, at least for me. You don't want to snack. Every single time something goes in your mouth, it stops it all together. The process of what you want, the fat and all that, eating up the fat and, making ketones and all that. So I only do it twice a day. I only eat then. And then also, you don't need to have bulletproof coffee either. That's just for people to get their fats in pretty quick. And, if people have work that they need to go to and it's going to be a while for them to eat, yeah, or people are addicted to coffee and they just need to have it. Fortunately, I'm not that type of person. Matter of fact, I really don't like coffee that much, except for the caramel frappuccino from Starbucks. But let's face it, talk about carbs and sugar. Okay, also, no urine strips. You don't need those. They're only going to work for a week or two. I've already said this before, but just to reiterate this, what it measures is excess ketones in your body. So, whenever you use them at first, your body's going to be not really knowing what to do with these ketones, and so it's going to flush a lot of them out. So eventually you're going to start seeing the darker colors on the strips. By the way, that darkest color is more than likely you're dehydrated. It's not super ketosis. I'm pretty sure I've said that to a lot of you guys. But whenever your body, after a few weeks, starts really getting into the ketosis groove and starts knowing what and using these ketones precisely, you're going to be flushing them out less, which means you're only going to see trace amounts of ketones, like the lowest color there, and you're going to freak out and go, well, why is this? And you're going to start getting discouraged and going, well, I'm not in ketosis anymore. What's going on here? Yeah, you are. It's fine. It's just your body is functioning with them now and knowing how to use them and not flushing them out anymore. So they are just useless. Throw them out. They're only going to be a yes or no answer after a while. Do what you want. Oils. For strict keto, once again, if you're dirty keto, you don't have to worry about this. You know, you're going to still use your Hellmann's. You're still going to use your ranch dressings and all of that. But if you are going strict keto, no on the soybean oil. It's high in omega-6, which is something you want to avoid. Omega-3s are the good stuff. You know, and I've gotten into the soybean oil before, and I think in the do's and don'ts video, might want to check that out. But yeah, you don't want to do soybean oil, that canola oil, vegetable oil, really anything like that. There's mixed reviews on peanut oil. Good oils obviously are your olive oils, avocado, and coconut oils. For frying up things, I usually use coconut oil, but you can also use lard, duck fat. I have yet to use lard, but you know, that's what they used to use for you know, fried stuff a long time ago. And then they said, oh my gosh, this is horrible for you. So I swear I should like buy some lard and just fry up some chicken with some almond flour and see how that is. Okay. Also, if you're doing strict keto, avoid anything Atkins. Avoid it at all costs. If a lot of, you know, once again, those sugary things, the chocolate stuff they have, it's got maltitol in them. And maltitol, again, if you've seen all of my stuff, it's really bad because it's higher on it's above 12, which is really what you should be on keto, on the glycemic index. And like half of it goes straight to you and half of it goes straight through you. So, I mean, it's not good. Avoid those. Also the shakes. Really, honestly, you want to get your proteins and all of your vitamins in from the food that you're eating. You don't need all of that extra stuff. And I don't have notes on here on electrolytes, but I'm pretty sure all of you guys know the electrolytes, sodium, you use pink salt with everything, salt. Magnesium, you can use the natural calm powder, but it's more of it's got a laxative effect. So I think they have pill forms of magnesium glycinate that you can get. And then also for potassium, avocados, and no salt, which is that salt substitute. You can buy it anywhere where your salt is. Usually what people do to get their salt in is they'll even put like 1/4 of a teaspoon of pink salt and 1/4 of a teaspoon of no salt in some water and drink that. I just over salt the snot out of everything. So make sure you get your electrolytes in, because you will cramp up. You will get, well, I don't want to say you will. I never get the keto flu, so I'm fortunate on that. But if for some reason you're lagging, you have a little bit of fatigue, or you're getting headaches, that's what that is. It's due to lack of electrolytes. So if that happens, drink pickle juice, or if you're not a fan of pickle juice, olive juice. That kind of replenishes it. It does that immediate gratification until you fix your electrolytes. Okay. Number 6, it's best to avoid, once again, for strict keto, to avoid protein powders. They contain whey, which and also chemicals for most of them. You know, whey can produce a high insulin spike, and once again, you don't really want that. So for me in particular, and for strict ketoers, you want to avoid that. I know that's one of those where, ooh, you might have to stick with it, because there are certain things I will not compromise on. I just recently discovered that my barbecue sauce that I love has some sort of like cornstarch in it or something, but I use so little of it, I'm just going to use it. I don't care what my own rules say. For that particular stuff that I only use like 1/2 tablespoon for to flavor something, I'm just gonna do that. So I mean, with protein powders, if you're working out and all that kind of stuff, it's up to you on whether you want to do that, strict or not. Okay, you don't need exogenous ketones either. I know some people like to use it for health purposes and stuff. What I'm telling you is it's not a requirement. You don't need that. You can get it from other stuff. Your body is going to use that up first before it's using your own keto. It's just, it's not needed. It's not necessary. For some people, they feel the need, and that is fine for them, but it's not a requirement. So I'm just saying you don't need to spend $60, $70, or $80 on all that stuff. Honestly, you don't need it. You can just use your own. Don't ever use anything that says light. Light salad dressings, you know, your less fat Philadelphia cream cheese. The light dressings and things like that, they tend to have more carbs in them, probably because of the more of the fillers in there. And plus you also need the extra fat. You need the fat. So get the full fat ranch and all that kind of stuff. That's just a little thing. Also, here's the thing that really is awful for me, because I have a love-hate relationship with alcohol. As you can see, I was loving it for the long time I was on my vacation. But you really need to avoid it when you're first starting out for a few weeks. So let's see how far I go. But at least for 2 weeks for sure, you need to avoid that. I'm sure there's some things that I have missed. You really want to stick with nothing that's processed. You know, stick with all the good stuff. Butter, once again, in my other video, you can have your regular butter, salted or unsalted. You don't need Kerrygold. Of course, grass-fed stuff is better for you. People do not have the money to be spending on that stuff. It's not an absolute requirement. Yeah, they might have a little bit better ingredients and vitamins and better omega-3s and stuff. It's not an absolute need. You don't need all of that grass-fed stuff if you don't want to. If you have the extra money for it, kudos to you. Most of us don't. So anyway, that's all that I have on restarting strict keto. I'm sure I'll have other things, tips that'll come up in my head, but I will go into that probably in whatever next videos I have. So today is the restarting strict keto, and my next video will be on my measurements and what I eat for the day. So see you soon.